Hello guys, it's Teenage DC Fan back with another video, and Alex definitely isn't handling the death of her father very well at all. So he died of cardiac arrest while he was performing humanitarian work at a refugee center for displaced aliens. And while Kara is at peace knowing Jeremiah really was a good man who loved his daughters, Alex not so much. She's day drinking in sweats and comfy socks, which sounds nice, but she refuses to go along with Kara and Jean to go to the service in Midville. So, sure, yeah, Jeremiah had to live in secrecy after leaving Cadmus, but as far as Alex is concerned, he never made amends for absenting himself from her life. Worse, she feels as though her relationship with him was forever changed by his obsession with keeping Kara safe. She even said she felt like he treated her like she wasn't even worth his time. But when it was about Kara, he's focused all his attention on her. So Alex, she's going through a tough time now, and she just kicks everyone out, including Kelly. And after she's alone at LexCorp, after she's alone, the LexCorp ad featuring Supergirl doesn't help things out, although her obsidian platinum lenses might, because in the virtual space, she chooses the Supergirl simulation, and there she is as National City's #1 superhero in a black suit with flowing black locks and blue highlights, and I actually really like the look of this suit, especially with the blue in there, so that looks really nice. But she ends up in a mall where she meets treasure hunter Tilly, who's actually Bonnie, there to escape the sadness of her sister's stage 4 cancer diagnosis. And there's also guitar hero Derek, with Elton John sunglasses, of course. And this guy has no idea that he's in a simulation. Everybody else is an NPC, which is non-player character, with 3 stripes on their neck, and that's how you can tell the difference between real people and NPCs. And they're all a product of Alex's brain mapping that populates the world with familiar people and places. So then a helicopter drops a rope ladder through the mall ceiling to whisk Bonnie away to adventure as an alien dragon attacks. And Alex saves the day with her super strength and laser eyes. And I don't know if I've noticed this before, but in this episode it was just really prominent to me. And I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but when Supergirl uses her heat vision, the lasers are blue. No, I think that's how it is with Kara Supergirl and how it normally is on the show. But I don't get that. I don't like that, because I like the heat vision with Superman and Supergirl being red, because that's how it was in the comics, that's how it is in cartoons and stuff. So I just really noticed that in this episode that it's blue. So that's just something I wanted to point out here, because I did notice that. And but she uses those laser eyes as she plays it cool as the graceful citizens applaud, and then a news crew interviews her, and she's getting all the attention here. Bet she's really liking that, though. It's definitely a big change here. And next she heads out for the perfect pancakes, where she encounters Bonnie again, although the woman confusingly insists that she's Tilly, not Bonnie, and she doesn't know who Bonnie is. But then you cut to the real world, where we see Bonnie stretched out on a couch in an RV with her sister's picture clasped to her chest and gross red obsidian lens eyes. Furthermore, poor Derek, who escaped into VR following his wife's death, is one of Leviathan's burrito people, basically, in the big tinfoil cocoons. But also in the real world, Kelly and William are teaming up to investigate the 32 satellites that Lex rushed through the approval process that line up above the cities he's visiting on his Obsidian World Tour. And when Kelly brings up the unfixed end simulation loophole, William wonders if that could also be connected to Lex. So, it's time to investigate. and they find no Lex link, but Kelly's shocked to learn that the failsafe loophole was actually never fixed. So she heads straight to Andrea, who's also surprised, and says the patch was ordered, but the funds got snarled up in the board's corporate bureaucracy. Oh, and also Andrea would really prefer Kelly not to mention this to the Obsidian users. That's pretty sketchy. I really don't like Andrea. Like, she's too sketchy. Plus, she's, like, working for Leviathan. Like, I don't like her. But also sketchy, Lex is the newest board member, so maybe he applied pressure to ignore the glitch. That's a very Lex thing to do. So Kelly and William's next step is to check in on the 500 users who've been in VR nonstop for 48 hours or more and could actually be trapped. And after Kelly's text to Alex goes unanswered, they jump into making calls. But then we jump back into the VR world, and Alex gets a call from the DEO, populated with NPC versions of Jean, Brainy, and Dreamer, about a loose missile. And then there's Hank Henshaw on the DEO monitors, sneering that he kidnapped Supergirl's sister Kara and demanding a nuclear warhead to set her free. So NPC John warns Alex not to let feelings cloud her judgment as she heads off to fight Henshaw. And David Harewood here has a marvelous time cackling evilly and, chewing all the scenery as Henshaw, while Alex breaks through the fancy kryptonite restraining device to defeat him without anyone rescuing her, because I am Supergirl. Except I'm not, so. But I gotta say, this is a stressful VR simulation. Like, I'm pretty sure if I was doing this, it would involve, like, just going on a cruise, or, like, going on a nice beach, just relaxing, something like that. Not, being Supergirl and fighting bad guys. Like, sounds fun, maybe for, like, a day, or, like, a couple hours, but not for a whole life. But one of the Kryptonian witches, also does some karaoke here, and yanks him off the stage and laser eyes a patron who objects. Then the witch silences Bonnie/Tilly's cheering with, "No more Britney Spears songs if you want to live." I mean, that's pretty harsh right there. But at first Alex is slightly taken aback, but her companions roll with it, and she soon agrees that she's never been happier. When she says this, her lenses turn red in the real world, and this is the time when you realize, uh-oh, things aren't going right. This is not good. So, in VR land, another Supergirl rolls up in the original skirt and costume and uses her super breath to cool the drink, and then she confuses Alex even more. Like, how can there be a second Supergirl? Then her NBC DEO team offers to escort her to the med bay, and she realizes this isn't real and wakes up in her apartment, removing her lenses in response to Kelly's text. Then Jean summons her to stop a psi attack. Yeah, I almost got confused there. Psi. No, I think that's a weird name still, but Psi is attacking someplace, and that made everyone doubt their reality. And Alex, Supergirl, in the black suit but with her normal hair, is on the way. And excellent fake out and nice job of her brain and or the loophole using her existing knowledge to explain away any doubts. I think that was pretty good on the writer's parts there to come up with that. But in the real world, Kelly finds Alex unresponsive on the couch, and even an injection of the In Case of Blueberries EpiPen doesn't rouse her. Like, it doesn't affect her at all. Like, she looks like she dead. Like, she got the red eyes, and ooh, she dead. But she's not. Luckily, she's not. But it's time for Kelly to enter the simulation now. And there she finds the DEO tossing somebody who's, into a cell, and Kelly tries to talk sense to Alex, but the increasingly nefarious NPC DEO team claims that Kelly's a psi victim too, and Kelly quickly ends the simulation and asks Andrea for guidance. And her suggestion: confront Alex with something that's unexplainable and undeniable. okay, like, how is that supposed to help? That didn't really make sense at all. But, so Kelly, she programs an NBC teenage Alex who offers to show Alex the truth she's avoiding. And Alex takes her teenage self's hand, and they go to the Cadmus facility where she last saw Jeremiah. And as the NBC DEO team opens fire on them, they approach Jeremiah, who's got his back turned to them and clearly isn't Dean Cain. And when Alex touches him, he dissolves. And I think this was actually a pretty clever way of having Jeremiah in the episode and giving Alex closure with her father without having Dean Cain here, because that's kind of the reason they killed off the character, because they can't have Dean Cain on the show anymore. But Alex faces the truth that now that her father's dead, they can't ever repair the relationship. And being Supergirl for a little while let her live with hope, like the street Kara lives on. But with the appearance of NBC Eliza Danvers, Alex finally ends the simulation for real, and her lenses go from red to blue like normal. And then she wakes up and apologizes to Kelly, of course, saying that she was actually angry with herself, not everyone else, because she couldn't save Jeremiah. But still, she can find a way to save Derek and Bonnie and anyone else trapped in the VR. And Kelly assures her that she's on it. In fact, Williams just gotten a text from his source at the NSA telling him that of his list of 402 VR super users, 337 are legit with no Lex connections. But the remaining 65 are all using an IP address at the same location in National City. And when William arrives to check things out, Margot, the evil Leviathan lady, throws up a cloaking device that hides the whole burrito operation from him. Although, honestly, if he'd walked forward like another step or two into the seemingly empty warehouse, he would have bumped into the row of gurneys holding unresponsive VR users, which now includes Bonnie. And as he leaves, he finds a discarded ID bracelet with patient number, so at least he's got a clue to work with, but I don't really know how that's going to help, because it's literally just an ID bracelet. Like, he could have gotten that anyway. But Andrea, meanwhile, leaves a voicemail for Gemma about the goings-on and orders an Obsidian employee to do a full patch workup to close the loophole. And that employee, friends, it's none other than Eve Tessmacher. Yeah, she's back. And not Hope this time, maybe? I'm not sure if she's still Hope. Because last time we saw her, she sacrificed herself so that Lena wouldn't get in trouble. But she was still Hope then, so I don't know what's going on there. But in the end, Alex makes it to the Midvale Church in time to join Kara and all of her friends to hear Eliza's eulogy. And they have the funeral for Jeremiah, and that's pretty much what happens there. So I think this episode was okay. It wasn't great, but I really liked the closure that Alex had with her father. And like I said, it was really creative on the writing team's part for coming up this way in such a good way, because I just like saying way, for Alex to get closure with her father without having to have Dean Cain in the episode, because they kind of can't do that. But anyway, what did you guys think about this episode? Please let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video, so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.